But he's got his work cut out. He's got a really informed Joel Parkinson who's rejuvenated. You heard the boys talk about the fact that he's the oldest guy left in the draw at the moment, the only one that's actually won this event before. And Julian Wilson, the form that he's got going at the moment, obviously getting bells running, and I think he's looking really sharp here at Margaret River as well. So this is going to be a tough heat for Matty Wilco.
So a really fun opening round heat to start here as we check out the first wave of the morning. Establishing position, former world champ, former event champ Joel Parkinson on his forehand. Starts with a snap, then a vertical whip over the whitewater. Nice clean re-entry off the coping. He'll just sort of reset as he approaches this last inside section by the rocks, and he'll get out of there. Joel Parkinson kicking off the morning in this first heat against Julian Wilson and Matt Wilkinson. Yeah, I don't think he minds it at all. Parkinson starts with a 4.67. And now Wilco Julian trying to set up the next exchange. More waves on the way here first thing in the morning. Wearing that blue is Parco, already on his second scoring ride. Nice deep bottom turn, hits it vertically, and he'll get out of there. So just a one maneuver second scoring ride. And Wilson's able to control the next wave. Big deep bottom turn. Starts off with that forehand carve. Now on the lip line for that front side wrap. Looking for a big finish. Clean snap off the coping for Wilson. One more tight jam and he gets out of there. So Parco 4.67. He'll have a quiet second scoring ride. And now Julian Wilson getting in the mix.
I think this is going to be Matty Wilco's toughest heat, I reckon. If he can make it through this one, he'll get that ball rolling. The replay of Julian Wilson, we talked about that bottom turn that he's got going. He's one of the best in the game. Love the way he gets so nice and low, and we analysed that the other day, Joe, with how low he gets his arm, and he's literally, his face is almost touching the surface of the water, and it gets him into that really nice rhythm.
There's been a lot of great stories in history of guys maxing out their wave totals and getting interferences. That doesn't happen anymore. We go back to Julian's wave.
Yeah, I think that the judges are really looking at the transition between the turns here this morning. Obviously, these guys are very similar as far as abilities go. So it's connecting the dots. It's getting those turns in at the right place at the right time. Just that smooth, clean, bottom turn, top turn combination.
There's been something about a bottom turn that's so amazing to watch, and Julian Wilson has one of the best approaches off the bottom. Turns in a 6.5. We drop the high and the low to get that average from the 5 judges that are on the panel at the moment.
What an amazing heat this was.
Julian Wilson took control at the start, and then Wilco kept on swinging, even blowing his tail off the back on really challenging sections. Transitioning to the main break, back to live, Wilco goes down. So after waiting quite some time for his opener, he ends up incomplete to start.
And then again in round number 4, where you've got that opportunity to stumble and come back. So Matty Wilco sitting for a while, pretty chilly out here this morning, just digging that nose in, didn't quite get the board, that snap that we're looking for, you know, that tail release off the top that he was so used to. I think that's maybe just, you know, early morning jitters. He's been sitting in the water for the last 10 minutes without moving. So
Wilco didn't get those mentions too early in his career because he was losing a lot of heats in round 2, round 3, and lacked the consistency. Parco now up. Fun looking right that's opening up on the takeoff. Big drawn out carve. Rips it in the pocket real quick and keeps that cool Parco flow and rhythm through the inside corner. Little front side punt. He's been loving some airwind throughout this event. He'll jam it right on the rocks. So not a huge lift off, but just getting creative on his finishing moves. Parco there just needed a 1.84. He'll take the lead for a moment, but now Wilson quick to answer. Solid wave, well overhead at the takeoff. Setup work. Peak pops up in front of him and he drills it vertically. Now he'll close this one out through some turbulence. Wilson stays on his feet. See him fading there just to avoid the rocks. And now he'll set up his way back out to the lineup with 16:20 to go. World number 1, a sleepy start in this matchup, and Wilson and Parco looking to take control here.
It all comes down to that wave selection too. Let's have a look at Joel's first. Nice solid wave. I love the way he just did that nice little fade off the top. And then that rail work that we love so much from Joel. Just that smooth, swooping, beautiful, clean surfing. and then showing some variety. Joel's been doing a couple of airs lately, Joe. That's you know, obviously that one there a little flat, but finished nicely. So he knew he was on his way to a good score. Showed a little bit of variety, showed some control, but all the damage really was done on out the back, as well as Julian too. You see that bottom turn, top turn combo that is going to score really well. Now he's got some variety, some vertical surfing from him, and finished in that critical section right there, managing to ride out. Super important here at the moment to get that extra half point on the end of your ride there to finish that off. So very similar waves there from both Joel and Julian.
Little wind of a rivalry between the two Australians way back when. This seasoned vet who was already going for a world title, and then this new name that was coming on the scene. It made their matchups really fun to watch for the rest of that year. This is Julian now. Just searching, and he kicks out with now 14 minutes on the clock. It looks like the surf is really fun, and now setting up Matty Wilkinson's backhand. Really looking for his first major score, and he bottoms out again. Second straight wave for Wilco that's gone incomplete. As we'll get an update on the conditions and this little paddle race with Strider Wazalewski out the back. How's it looking, Strides?
Not a lined up swell right now, so we've got a lot of movement as to where the actual peak is hitting the reef out here. So they're definitely having to search around for it, kind of out of position and hard to find. Man out here on the jet ski told us as this day goes on, it's just going to get nicer and nicer as this wind clocks around, the sun comes out. Look at this right here. We got our man Joel Parkinson up and riding.
Thank you, Strider. Joel Parkinson. Nice and easy on that forehand hook. It's starting to open up. Full roundhouse with the rebound. The former event champ just finds his way kicking out of the inside corner. Now Wilco needs something big here. 12:40 to go, and he's got nothing on the board. Couple of little miss hits as he's looking for that lip line. And Wilco out again. All about Julian and Joel in this matchup so far, and world number one under pressure to perform. If he doesn't get through this heat, he could be surfing in round 5 later on today, as that's still on standby. Wilson with control. Big solid hack out the back, but he'll go down.
So he's got 11.5 to go, so he was in a combo situation, now needing a 9.83. Joel with a 7.10 on his last ride, and Julian, a couple of mid-range scores, has the lead.
Now setting this one up, Joel Parkinson times it straight up vertical on that first section. There's that big highline wrap, and now a big section in front of Parko. Close out snap, but he'll end up going down.
And it's all due to that 6.5, backed it up with a 5.9. More sets approaching now. Matty Wilco with that first priority. Julian having a look, Joe.
Wilson now will get the roll in with the whitewater. Still our heat leader, looking to better a 5.93. He's up and out. Now Wilco with priority, with more waves on the way. Wilco considering this opportunity, and he takes it. Whitewater at his heels. First fan to the sky off the coping. Mid-face bottom turn, and just a little reset off the top. Touches off the lip again, an end section hack. It wants to close this thing out and get the completion. Number 1 in the world, Matty Wilkinson, finding his best wave so far, now with 9:40 to go.
But then that last one really did connect with it. Let's have a look here. Nice solid wave. Didn't quite get the body sort of moving off that first turn. I love the way he grabs his rail off the bottom, just gives him that little bit more stability. A little bit mistimed bottom turn right there, but then connected at the end nicely. That's better from him right there. See how he went into that nice and smooth. Those first 3 turns were a little bit off.
Deputy Commissioner Jessie Miley-Dyer said she wants it to be a finals day today for the top 17 in the world. Now watching this, Wilson, our heat leader, a messy section to work with, but somehow he hangs on. And now getting out of there. 6.5, 5.93's keeping this thing wide open and giving Wilco a shot to possibly sneak the lead. Wilco up now, backside carve. He's got a big lip line to hack right there. Good timing on the backhand snap. Jams it high up the lip again. Wilco steps off, and he's fighting back with 3:20 to go. So very interesting to see Wilco fighting back as we take another look here at Butts.
Yeah, that first turn so important, you know, and it's he's just sort of biding his time, waiting for it. Now he unleashes that big snap. That's the kind of maneuver that we've been waiting to see from Matty Wilco. Back-to-back turns. Once he finds that rhythm, once he finds that groove, It's just like a pendulum clock where it's just off the bottom, off the top, off the bottom, off the top.
As we now watch an important way for Joel Parkinson to fight back. 50 seconds to go. Parko could get a 5.84 here and change things around. Good start with a carve. Lofty forehand float, stomps it. Looking for something major to seal the deal, and great composure for the former event champ. So standing by for the numbers from that last wave for Joel Parkinson. Now judges taking a couple of waves into review here as they go back to Julian's previous ride.
Yeah, this was, I think this was Julian's 5.9. So it's got to come in at that very similar ballpark. 5.84 is what's required from Joel Parkinson on that last roll of the dice. You can see scratching in, scratching, and he finally catches it. It's going to be on this first turn here. Does he nail it? Yes, he does. Didn't quite get that board all the way around. Critical floater maneuver right there, and then he gets that vertical turn. So 3 solid maneuvers. 5.84. Is that going to be his second highest scoring wave of the heat? It needs to be. 4.67 was his first one. If you go back to his first wave, I thought that first wave may be a little bit underscored, but it's in the judges' hands right now, Joe.
So Joel Parkinson trying to survive with his back against the wall in the final exchange. Numbers now drifting in from the panel. Parko turns in a 6.0, and he'll celebrate that come from behind victory and go straight into the quarterfinals. A big sigh of relief. And you're looking at a man who's won a lot of heats, Parko, and he celebrates a win because he knew he had his hands full with world number 1.
You know what? I like that. Matty Wilco not happy with that result. Thought he had it, thought he did enough towards the back part of that heat, but Joel, priority at the most crucial point of the heat there.